merciful, Jesus will save. Verse 4. Rescue the perishing, duty demands it. Train for thy labor, the Lord will provide. Back to the narrow way, patiently win them. Tell the poor wanderer, Savior has died. Rescue the perishing, care for the dying. Jesus is merciful, Jesus will save. Ben, would you open us in prayer?
Absolutely. Dear gracious Heavenly Father, we do just want to thank you so much for this evening. Lord, pray that you would just be with us now. Lord, I thank you for the study that David's put in. Lord, I pray that you would just help us to go through the missionary. Lord, I pray that you would just speak through him. Lord, help us to learn more and help us to pray more diligently for all these things.
Amen. Dave, as David's coming up, I believe it's hot off the press that Valerie and Max found out he does not have any additional allergies. So that is definitely a praise. So just wanted to let everybody know that. Now, Brother Dave. That sounds like somebody passed a hat, doesn't it?
We're going to show the video first. This is a family that is in Alaska. So some of you folks that are big into hunting and fishing will kind of look at this and go, the Lord is calling me here. And then you'll see how much snow is on the ground and you'll go, never mind, I'm okay.
Congregation with children and everything. We can be over 60 people in a village of about 300. So we get to experience solid leadership and fellowship like very, very few other villages in the interior of Alaska get to experience. So we are networking between like-minded organizations.
difference in facial expression between her and him with the baby. Did you see that? She's all aglow, and he's like, I'm stuck in this village with you, and there is, I guess this is what makes us happy.
Talking about the baby and midlife is not the time.
But they looked awful familiar to me. There was a family that actually went to the Sahel in northern Africa, the desert, and then ended up in Alaska. But when I went to check CMML, their little bio, they don't mention the Sahel at all. And so I'm wondering, somebody very similar to him came through at Kentucky at Bluegrass Bible Fellowship and was discussing their ministry. And so it was very interesting to see this. I don't know if it's the same people, but very, very interesting work that's going on in Alaska. So pray for them as they minister. I think their two older children are leaving. The little one just came in, and they didn't say where the older children are going. But if you go to the CMML site, there's a picture of the family with all the names. And they go by 2 names apiece. It's like chunks of names. Before we go any farther, where did my mission book go? Is it sitting in front of you, Tammy? That would be... I'm going to take this off because the feedback on this is bad. What I'm saying that I can't concentrate with a wind tunnel. So all I'm saying, so I'll do my best, but that's not going to keep going. Yes. Just another plug. The Missions Magazine. How many of you are good Christians and received this? Mike. Live streaming Mike's apostasy. No, you need to get one of these. You need to have this sent to your home. Very interesting. Just to give you a very, very interesting little. This doesn't happen very often, but if you look at the connections part at the back of the book, not all of this knows, folks, but basically starting from day 21 to the end of the magazine. We know, or people here know all these folks, or they've been here. There's Elijah and Maura Hall that were big visitors to the chapel down in Savannah. Kenneth and Eunice Russell, they've been here. Nathan and Priyanka Bramson, always here. Dick and Nita Papworth, you old timers. If you remember Voices of Iran, still kicking, still in that ministry, though it's in Oregon. And then Paul and Carol Bramson, our good friends, we saw them this weekend at Overbrook. And then Ryan and Elizabeth Skillen, who are at Emmanuel Mission, and he's out of Macon, the assembly there at 3 Oaks. So this is a very interesting thing. If you don't get this, you should, and you should peruse it and look at the different things that are there. I find it very interesting. Parenting on the mission field. They have this, and they only have one child. I thought, you don't count as parents. You've only got one kid. That's not really, you're still a parent, but I just thought that was interesting. I would have thought they would have picked, we have 17 children and we're trying to spread the gospel. But they picked, the one, it's like a Japanese couple. The Japanese birth rate is below fulfillment. So that's what they're telling us. They'll have as many kids to send to the mission field. Maybe we should call Rob and say, this is a bad look. Anyway, magazine, good. Read it. Check up, find things. Missionary prayer meeting, October 22nd, 2025. How many of you remember Outlaw Gray? It's his birthday today. Ask me how I know this. I have a freakish memory for October birthdays because we grew up together too. We were like four days apart. I haven't seen him in 30 years, so I don't know. Probably still giant and whatnot, but just think about Atwell. And my science teacher in high school was said the same day, Mr. Bennett. Everybody remembers Mr. Bennett. All right, next. Missionaries of the Month. Our first ones are Joseph and Heather Frimpong. They do not have a picture online, so I cannot use it. It is in your book. If you go in the back of the book, other overseas services, there is a picture there. Do not come and tell me they've got a picture, they've got a picture. Trust me, they don't have one on the website, and I'm not going to clip art, cut it out and then paste it up here. Heather and Joseph Frimpong had a great series of emails. They are from Shore Acres, which is where my Uncle John was an elder for many, many years. He has, since they moved from that. But my cousin Rhonda is still at this meeting. So it was kind of fun to hear that. Anyway, Joseph and Heather were in Ghana, but health issues forced them back to Canada. Heather has tremendous health issues. Joseph continues to travel back and forth to Ghana, sort of like Mark Swain does to Poland, and he is just returned. Joseph just got back 2 days ago from a trip to Ghana, exhausted and having to go back to his factory job. He works a night shift, I think, at one of the local factories. Two things, and this is straight from an email from her, two things that are big right now. At Christmas time, they give a big bag of rice to folks at the chapel because it's very difficult food-wise in Ghana. And that's their big yearly thing that they share love of Christ, give a big bag of rice. And so they send money to Ghana and the rice is purchased there. The second thing is something that is a little bit, they cannot do this in Ghana. There is a person a family in the chapel that has a teenage daughter that is completely and utterly special needs. She cannot communicate, she cannot control her bowel movements, and so they are trying to get together a package to send Depends undergarments for this child, this teenage girl. I've asked for the size. I don't know if she's going to send that to me, but it is a way that we can share practically with the ministry in Ghana, either through, she didn't ask for any of this. I'm telling you this is what we can send individually to the Frimpongs for the rice and for the purchase of these. I've got a buddy that's in shipping that we're looking into. He also has a special needs sister in a facility that maybe they could get more of these, but we're waiting on the size. But just to think about that practically, this was on Heather's heart, and this is directly within the last 24 hours that these requests are being made. So the situation in Ghana is still, the Augusta meeting, they're still going. There was nothing updated as far as the trip. I'm sure we'll get an update once Joseph recovers. We'll get something. The Frimpongs always send out a monthly a letter, and so we'll get something just not in time from this trip, for this month. But pray for them and pray for this family, and also pray for the believers in Ghana, the struggle with poverty and the upcoming rice distribution. Okay, next. I did not hear anything from the Chalvets, so I don't have anything to report regarding something new. They have been in our list for several years now. They're both commended out of the Asheville meeting. He, of course, is from France. If you've ever met him, he's definitely the French accent, and she is from the meeting in Asheville. They're commended out of Asheville. They've been here, but it's been years. The update in the CMML is 2014, 2015. So that just shows you how long it's been since there's any update there. They are in the Grenoble region, which is in France, but I don't know anything else to tell you except for they are. It's been 10 years, so I'm assuming that it's established, and we get periodic updates. And I think the last update in CMML, there's a brief video of them or story from 2025. So it was of no help for this. So we got 2015 to 2025, 2020. So it's 2015, 2020, and now we're 2025, but I don't have any updates. So with the frequency, it should be coming here shortly, some update. But pray for the Chalvets and the work there in Grenoble. Okay, next. We already saw the video, so we'll just keep on moving. Our unreached people group of the Shiite of Pakistan. Notice this, almost 13 million, a little bit more than the state of Georgia. A little bit more than the state of Georgia, and estimated Christians. Never seen that before. It doesn't mean that there's not one, because we know that from every tribe, people, and nation, there will be someone. It may be an infant, it may be something of that nature, but it's somebody from this tribe will be there. But 0%. So, I'm sure I'm saying that word wrong, but Shiite, it's like sheep, except for with an A, so I'm going that direction. Maybe it's shake. Anyway, pray for them tonight when we go to our prayer groups. Next, in Africa, some young person is going to have to teach me how to actually, I go to the images and I go and get the images to copy them and bring them to my PowerPoint so that you can see beautiful pictures of this. You can't even read the words on this thing, so I don't know, there's got to be some way that you can actually use the images that are there for you to use and actually read them, but not on my PowerPoints. It's like Tammy's vision tonight, since I forgot to bring her glasses. Yeah, it's not good. By the way, volunteers, anybody to ride with her on the way home? Anybody? She's a seeing-eyed human. Next. These are the same families. I just kept this here because the one on the right supposedly was for people with sight difficulties that had writing on it, and it didn't show up. So, you know, it wasn't for my wife because I'm the one that's supposed to bring her glasses and I forgot. So I wasn't thinking that humorously in advance. This is a tough situation. We don't know where he is right now. It's the man in the middle. He is a friend of the Corbins, and then he is, I'm sure he's friends with Hayes and others, the Bramsons. I'm sure everybody knows him. And he was kidnapped in a secure part of the city. It hasn't been any, there hadn't been a kidnapping in that part of the city since 2011, when the height of, the terror, and those two French folks were killed inadvertently when the French tried to rescue them. We need to pray for Kevin Rideout and his family. He was there working with, used to be Sudan Inland Mission, but it's now something else. But he's a pilot for them, and he was kidnapped. So we need to be lifting him up. And then, of course, I'm sure all of his family is just a very difficult situation for them. So pray for them. He's not seeing a Mel, but who cares? Pray for him tonight. So, all right, next. Great. This came today. This is hot off the press from our Spicingers. Ask for prayer for Kate Hospital. Why hospital? I mean, they don't do anything there. Just the last 2 weeks, they've had 2 marathons of orthopedic and plastic, and they have a pediatric marathon coming up. Basically, what this means is that in 9 hours, they see up to 120 patients and schedule for 20 surgeries for the next day. So you think you don't get time with your doctor? They are rolling through and determining who can be treated and who can't. And so that's a lot of folks that they're working with. And just pray for the pediatrics coming up next and for recovery for all those that just came through the orthopedics and the plastics. They need their annual certificate of airworthiness for the airplane to be approved. So pray for that. And you know, Joey's in charge of the maintenance of that thing, or one of those in charge, so pray for that. And then he'll also, I'm sure, be very heavily involved in the upgrade of the solar. So pray for Joey as well. He's always looking out for Kate, but he's very, very busy as well. And then they've got a lot of wildfires that are coming near the place, but the rainy season is about to be there, so they're grateful for that. And then for those of you that love snakes, over here, you will see a 6-foot black mamba. Which means if they bite you, you're dead. And it's, you know, the children were playing with it. No, they weren't playing with it, but it was near where they were playing. So, gives you an idea of the things that they deal with. So pray for our Spicingers, and we have something very interesting coming up next. These are the people that took the place of the Haikus. They came in and went to Deepalata with Jeff, and so we actually get to pray for the replacements. Also remember that the Haikus are heading back next week. Okay? So it's going to be really close to into this. I think it's the 31st or something like that. So pray for the Brundages in their last week. They are trying to learn Linda. And so that's part of their reason for coming besides just helping out. So pray for them in this last week of intensive study. And as they help Mr. Jeff out in Deepalata. So it's kind of cool. I saw that. I might not have spelled Allison right, but anyway. Next, Central and South America. Another vividly crisp map image. Sure that you will take this home to your homeschooling children and help them. You'll find out if they really know their countries. All right, next. Our friend Jean Lipsy from Brazil. This was in the letter today from MSC. Notice in 2 weeks she has a ladies' retreat. And she asked for preparation, for guidance as she prepares for that ladies' retreat. So pray for Jean Lipsy in Brazil and the upcoming ladies' retreat. And also their online Bible studies that they do on Monday. So next, Gary and Vivian Michael are down. They are coming home in the next week or two. If I read the email right, the last one I have is from October the 15th, which would have been last Wednesday. And they said 2 more weeks in country, which means that we're coming into the last, I don't know if that's 10 days or 12, but it's the last little bit that they are there. They have done a lot of meetings with assembly folks, church groups, elders. There's a lot of struggle with unity. And so just pray for the last couple weeks as they deal with. And that's nothing new. We all talk about, anybody ever read Philippians? Philippians is written, the hermeneutic behind Philippians is that they weren't getting along. And 2 ladies are named, ladies. No, Two ladies are mentioned by name in that thing, and then we're talking about let this mind be in you, which was also in Christ Jesus. It's not new, so just pray for that. And then I got this picture. This is their friend. Sandra kind of considers them parents, and of course they couldn't have children, so this has been she drove all the way from Bogota to meet with them and spend time with them, so that was good for them. So pray for this last little bit of time there and their work in Duitama. All right, next. Elijah and Maura Hall, he probably wouldn't remember us. They're an interesting group. Let's just say that. They're from Maine, and that's all I really need to tell you. But they are in Paraguay, and they are doing a work down there with a people group of about 24,000. If you have your missions magazine, there's more detail in the letter that they have in the connections section at the back, so I would ask you to do that. But this tells what they're basically going to be doing this year. And they're putting together basically 40 Bible lessons. And they're getting experts and locals, and they're working over these to make sure they've been working on the translation project for this small group in Paraguay. So it's basically rooted in translation of the scriptures into the language of this people group. And so it's very, very challenging work, and they ask for prayer for Elijah, as he's the one that's doing the majority of the translation and compiling of this. Just pray for the Hall family. I met them at Marshview. They were often at Faith Bible Chapel. So just pray for that family down in Paraguay. Next. Europe. Next. The Stearns. Mr. George called Miss Nancy his inmate. So different than most marriages. So different. She is in the prisons, I think twice a week. There are two other people that are with her. He asked for prayer for her as they're seeing some real fruit there. He's always asking us to pray for the radio ministry, and it seems that they're always expanding. So pray for that. They have a big conference coming up in Romania, a technical conference. They're taking several people with them. And so pray for the young people that are going with them, or the folks that are involved with the radio stations, that they'll grasp all the technicalities. Danny was saying that the Stearns are actually coming back home for something. And so we're actually hoping to get them here. But it's odd because they were back here in the spring. So pray for them. I don't know the details, but just pray for them. Pray for fruit from a recent marriage conference. And then this is one that really, he was wanting prayer. His cousin is coming over to visit with his wife, and they hadn't seen each other, didn't realize that they were in the same basic field. So there's a lot of great communication between them, but he really wants to get to the heart of their spiritual situation when they come visit them in Albania. So pray for this cousin and this visit. Of course, pray for Joel as well as he ministers with them. I decided to put all three of them in the blurb this time, so just always pray for Joel as well. Next. The Marzaks of Poland, they asked us to please pray for the fruit of this retreat. So we have fruit from a marriage conference in Albania, fruit from this retreat, 80 folks. And so just pray for them. And we just had the missionaries from Poland that were visiting that are over at North Augusta. So just Poland's kind of on my mind. And when I went to the farm show, folks from Poland took us to supper, trying to sell us some hay equipment. So, I mean, I have Polish people everywhere. So, if I could afford the hay equipment, I would be buying it. Trust me, it's good. All right, but pray for the Marzaks. I knew them from Emmaus. Not friends, but I knew of them. Pray for them. Next. The Atwoods, we're going to get pretty regular contact from them, I believe, now. We're on their radar. We're starting to get their letters. So. But I cannot give you all the details in their letter. Their letter's like 4 pages long, full of initials. And I cannot tell y'all to pray for S and A and M and J and T, and nobody will, I broke it down. They had several contacts with former workmates. Pray for that, continued work there. They are dealing with deep marriage issues. The enemy is really attacking several of the Christian couples, and there's really some deep issues there. They ask us to pray for wisdom in that. They are, of course, ministering to various contacts that come into their orbit for salvation. Some they're having regular Bible studies with. So they want to see growth with those people as well. And there's an almost universal letter from them is pray for our children. We think we're secular in this country. It is absolutely almost bereft of any kind of true Christian light in Norway. Wonderfully clean. All of us say, wow, that's kind of nice, But pray for their children. All right, next. Asia. The Dickinsons from Israel. Basically, kids are doing all kinds of activities. It was wonderful to read an update that didn't have anything about war. I mean, really, that was what I was looking through it to see if there's anything. This was all about getting back to normal, getting back to life. So pray for them. This is the Israeli or the Jewish New Year. And so this is why this is all about new things. But just continue to pray for them. And there's just a whole list of things. So we need wisdom for our small group Bible study, which starts after the holidays in October. So this is what we can specifically pray for biblically for the Dickinsons now. Okay, I believe that was the last one, but let's see. No, sorry. Cross-cultural, I kept this one in here. This starts tomorrow. See this? Family camp for the sister churches. They're cross-cultural, probably working with Spanish, would be my guess, up in Oregon. And so, what? The Norrises. Denny and Arlene Norris. I don't know them personally. Sorry. But we could pray for them as they have their family conferences with this outreach ministry starting the next 3 days. And I think that's it. Yes. Announcement. Pray for December the 7th. One of our missionaries of the month, Gil Vargas from Spain, is going to be here. He's going to take 2 messages, a report and a message. So be here December the 7th. And then pray for the folks at Wilmington Bible Chapel. Bill Hill, one of the elders there, his wife succumbed after a long battle with cancer. And so she is, they're going to bury her on Saturday. So just pray for that family, Daniel and April Hill, and then Bill. And so it'll be interesting. He should have died 3 or 4 years ago, and he's somehow survived it. And now it's just been just pray for that family, that assembly coming up. And I failed Susanna. She asked me to do that, and I forgot. Sorry.
I didn't catch that. Jim Gray.
Said hey. Said hello to everyone.
And also, keep Miss Pat Gross in your prayers. And text with her today and 1 year.
Okay. Remember that if you're going to try to go to Coke's birthday, the RSVP, that's Saturday of this week too.